When I moved back to my abandoned homestead, there was one project I couldn't stop thinking about. I wanted to build a garden bed unlike anything I had ever seen before, inspired by traditional woodworking patterns of Moldova. Something that wasn't just functional, something that could become a piece of art. The only problem was I have never built anything like that before, and buying new timber here would cost more than buying a used car. So instead, I decided to build it entirely from scrap wood that I found around the house. What I didn't realize that this simple garden project would turn into an 84-day battle, forcing me to learn skills I never thought I would need, and eventually making me question whether I need to build anything again. Before touching a single piece of wood, I need to figure out what I wanted this garden bed to represent. So I spent the next couple of hours going around the village, looking at old houses and searching for details that made Moldovan craftsmanship so unique. Eventually, I came up with 3 things this garden bed needed to have. First, I needed traditional colors. In Moldova, we have never been afraid of color, especially red, blue and greens. Second, I wanted to include horbotica, a traditional wooden fretwork found in old Moldovan houses. And finally, I wanted one element that would transform this garden bed into a piece of art. But more about that a bit later. After I had enough inspiration and sketches were drawn, now it was time to find some wood for this project. So I found this bed frame that actually consists of 2 parts. All I need is to take all that's extra from it, like the metal bits and all the fake leather thing and some material here and there. To be honest, this is actually a perfect size for my garden bed. All I need is just to gather more planks, wooden planks, and then cut them to size, put it together, and I think the bed frame is ready, nice and easy. So first of all, I would like to measure them to see if both of them are actually the same exact size. Every single plank that is there, it's a different size. So what I need to do is shorten them a little bit, especially that one of them has a very interesting joinery in there, which I can't fit into the new design, so I need to take that off. Which means my bed is going to be 170 centimeters by 70 centimeters wide, and I'm going to cut both of them that size. But for now, we need to strip everything off these planks. This angle grinder is too weak, so I would need to do it manually somehow. A bit of WD-40 should definitely help with rusted bolts. Oh, a bit of an accident. Now all I need to do is strip this off, this fake leather thing, take them apart, and we should be good to go. As it turns out, there's 2 nails coming this way and 2 nails coming from that way this way. So in order to remove them safely without breaking them, I need to remove these bolts, get this off, and then I could easily disassemble the rest. Now let's do the second one. That's all done. But there is a slight problem. You see these, right? Because of them, I've broken a few planks here and there, which means I would need to cut them even shorter. So the garden bed is going to be a tiny bit smaller. This project started so well that I've decided that I can both build the frame and take care of the main feature that will make this garden bed a true piece of art. Initially, I wanted to paint these 4 poles of my garden bed with traditional Moldovan patterns, but shortly after, I thought to give sculpting a go. Specifically, I was going to sculpt some Moldovan/Romanian patterns that are mostly used in house columns, which meant I needed to learn a whole new craft. Design-wise, this was going to consist of 2 rope designs attached to a main feature, which is a flower. But before carving, I needed to draw them first. Now that we're done with drawing the flowers, I need to go on and draw the rope designs. They're actually quite easy to draw, but very hard to execute. I've done a test behind the scenes. It was okay, but it took me a long time to do, so wish me luck. So now we need to draw the circles and the flowers on the last 2 beams, and then we're ready to sculpt. And guess what? To draw the circles and the flowers, I'm going to use a simple lid because I can't figure out how to do it with this stuff. At this point, I would say I was doing pretty well. And after the designs were finished, I went around the house to gather more wood so I can finally put together the garden bed frame. Okay, this is the last piece for the garden bed. The only problem is this one, it's 5 centimeters wide, and the other 2 are 2.5 and 2 centimeters. And that might be a problem because I don't have anything to cut it with to the correct wideness, basically. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting the widest one at the bottom and then go from there. However, I will be aligning all of them to be very nice and aligned on the outside, but of course the downside is going to be that you would have different thicknesses inside. But I guess this is what happens when you try to build beautiful stuff with scraps that you find around the house. I think shouldn't be a big problem though. Okay, all the old wood has been cut to the size that it needs to be. There's two other things that I need to do now. It's to plane all of them and then treat them with an outdoor solution. I don't know how it's called. I don't have any of the fancy planers that others do, so I'll be planing all of the wood with this fella. Wish me luck. All of these are done. It took longer than I expected, actually. In fact, 4 hours. Now that this was done, it was finally time for the main event, sculpting. Okay, if I thought that this, what I've done until now, it's time consuming, this actually, it's where all the hard work starts. So what I need to make with these is make them beautiful. And what I need to do is hundreds of cuts and holes in order to create a pattern that is going to be attached at the top of the garden bed. This is a template that I made for myself that is going to guide me all the way. For you to better understand how it is going to look, I've made 2 sections instead of 1. So just multiply that by 50 and we've got a nice pattern design that I will be attaching to the garden bed. While the build was going quite nicely, I've spent more than 3 weeks on it at this point, which was slowing down other of my projects. So I gave myself 2 days to finish this garden bed. But little did I know that this was a horrible mistake. If there is one thing I wish I knew earlier, is that rushing things and the creative process just don't live well together. So shortly after I set myself this deadline, this happened.
It's been now several weeks since I have abandoned this project. The reason why I've done it is that sometimes when we want to make something great, greater than us, greater than our skills, and something goes not to our plan or not the way we imagined it, or something goes terribly wrong, we just can't find that initial inspiration that we had when we started the project. I guess because sometimes we set such high standards, or what is in our head, it's so big and beautiful in my case, that if something goes wrong, which in my case multiple things, we're just discouraged to do it. It's now the end of June, and I think I've started this project in April or even earlier, and pretty quick everything went downhill. One of the things that really made me not want to do this project anymore, it's basically this. As you can see, I've carved all of this manually and it looks very, very good. But there's a few wrong things that I've done here. One, I don't know how I feel about painting this entire garden bed green and red. Just now I've realized that covering it with linseed oil or something else would have made a more beautiful end product. But I can't go back anymore, so I will have to carefully paint these. But the bigger problem is this over here. This was supposed to be like a sort of a small pyramid on top, right? So I needed to cut all sides like that, and from here as well, so we've got pointy end. But because I don't have a jigsaw or something that's very precise, this happened, and this is the best one. I'll show you in a second the rest of them. So this is the only one that remained untouched, right? This one, I cut the top off. It's not even a clean cut, which made me extremely frustrated. But this is when I tried to do all four corners, and this is what this is what I have. Absolutely irregular, terrible basically, especially this corner here. So after I've done this one, I was extremely frustrated, and I just abandoned this project for a couple of weeks. So I've cut all of them almost to size. They are very irregular because I'm using a handsaw. I don't know why, but I can't cut in a straight line. So if you woodworking people would give me a hack of how to do it nicely with a handsaw, I'll be great. I genuinely don't know what to do. Cut all of these uneven. Cut all of these to put on top uneven. All of them. This is very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. If I am going to post this video, I don't know if I'll include this or not, but I am frustrated with myself, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm a person like that, but I had such high hopes, and this is my dream garden bed. I wanted to do something unique, something that represents or reflects Moldovan, Romanian culture. And I think I wanted to become reality so hard. And I am always calm, and I never get this frustrated. But this project is just... But I think we'll get it done. I'm not going to give up. If I have a dream, I need to make it happen, regardless. So I think what I need to do is just power through. Keep doing it every day until I find a solution. Maybe it needs to become my life, you know? For the next couple of days at least, until I'm getting it done.
Creativity has its own weird little ways to find solutions to a problem. But if you just take your time and let it come naturally, you will find ways you have never even imagined. So I did just that. And after a couple of days of silence, I came up with probably the thing that I am the most proud in this project. So finally, my dream project was taking shape. This project, sure, pushed me to my absolute limits. But it taught me a very valuable lesson. That in order to build things that will outlast me, I needed to burn down to the ground, to only then rise back from the ashes as a man, as an artist that I always wanted to become.